I met up with Portia Letlape, Head of Product at ABSA Home Loans, to discuss how the private sector, specifically financial services, is playing a crucial role in supporting South Africa during the ongoing energy crisis. Stay tuned for insights and solutions. Prolonged load shedding has had a devastating impact on South African households and businesses. However, solutions are at hand. Today I'm meeting up with Portia Letlape, the Head of Product at ABSA Home Loans, to unpack how the private sector and financial services in particular are supporting South Africans amid the nation's ongoing energy crisis. Portia, thank you so much for having me and inviting me into the ABSA family. But I just want to find out, how has ABSA been able to position itself to make a difference in the face of South Africa's energy deficit?
Firstly, Balisa, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon at the ABSA Towers offices. We hope you enjoy the art pieces that are all over the building. We're all struggling with load shedding. And we've come up as an organization to try and solve from a financing perspective for households to have access to finance in order to install the load shedding solutions in their properties.
I'm sure, like so many other South Africans, as soon as you hear the words load shedding, the alarm bells start to sound. So tell us a little bit more about what exactly is the ABSA load shedding solutions.
So now what we've done as a bank, Balisa, is that we've built on our website, all that you need to do is look for ABSA load shedding solutions, and you land on the page, right? So what we have is, firstly, we educate the consumer. The next thing for a customer is, how much is this going to cost me? So that's where a calculator comes into the picture. So we've built a calculator that actually takes into account your household energy consumption. It gives you a sense of how much, from an installation perspective, your solution would cost. Then the next question is, but how am I going to pay for this? So that's where ABSA comes in, right? From a financing perspective. What's really nice about having a home loan with a bank is that if you have equity in your property, you're able to access the equity from your property and use it to finance your solar solution. Now, when we talk equity, Balisa, there's two products that one can think about. The first one is a further advance. So a further advance really is, you bought a property, the property's value has appreciated in value, and let's say you bought a property at $1 million, right? Over time, let's say 2-3 years later, the value of your property is now sitting at 1.2 million, right? That 200,000 rands above the million rand that you bought your property for is what we call equity, right? So what you then do is that you need to go and register a higher bond. That's why we call it a further advance. You register another bond for an additional 200,000, and the bank can actually extend the 200,000 rands to you in cash, right? For you to be able to finance your solar solution. So we know from a home loans perspective, generally your home loan term is 20 years, 30 years in some instances, right? And some customers are saying, I don't want to be paying for my solar solution over 20 years, right? Can I pay it over a shorter period of time? So we have a product called the multi-plan, which actually allows the customer to choose the term that they will pay their solar solution over. So you choose whether you want to pay it over 5 years or you want to pay it over 7 years, right? What's nice about this is that if you shorten the term within which you're paying for your loan, you actually also reduce your interest charges, which makes it even more affordable to access your solar solutions.
What are some of those other milestones that we can expect within the space?
We launched in 2020 South Africa's first eco home loan, right? So what is an eco home loan? Basically, it means that a customer is buying a property that is EDGE certified. So EDGE certification speaks to water efficiency, it speaks to energy efficiency. It's a certification that is granted by the Green Building Council of South Africa. And what's nice about that proposition is that the customer actually gets an interest rate saving. So we give the customer a reduction on their interest rate.
And finally, Portia, what can you tell me about how the South African consumer is responding to the prospect of generating their own power in light of the macroeconomic picture?
I think the beauty about solar and one being able to generate their own electricity is that it's energy that you generate yourself. And what it then does is that it reduces the cost of electricity in the household, right? Yes, you're going to be paying for the solar solution if you did take up finance, but in terms of how much you pay on a monthly basis from an electricity bill perspective, there's a huge reduction.
Thank you so much, Portia and ABSA, for being the light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you so much, Palisa. Really enjoyed having you here at the ABSA Towers offices.
Customers now have access to various tools to assess their energy requirements through ABSA's website. Visit now and find out what your options are.